Assessment Criteria 2.1 on the 3 MER assignment asks you to include the importance of work-life balance and related legislation concerning holidays, rest periods, working hours and night working, and this is what we know as the Working Time Directive. The Working Time Directive is implemented into UK law using the Working Time Regulations, and these were introduced in 1998. They've been amended several times since their introduction, and Taylor states that they are complex and have been criticised for lacking clarity. What this means for us in reality is that the Working Time Directive and the Working Time Regulations are complicated, and if you have to make decisions based on this, it would be wise to take advice. Lots of detail is available around the Working Time Regulations and can be found on the CIPD website, the ACAS website or the gov.uk website. The Working Time Regulations introduced a maximum working week of 48 hours. Now this is averaged over a certain time scale, which usually is 17 weeks. However, it can be longer if the workforce agree. What this means is that an adult worker can't be forced to work more than 48 hours a week on average. So if we take the 17-week average, this means that you can work more than 48 hours in 1 week as long as the average over the full 17 weeks is less than 48 hours a week. There are some roles that are not covered by the Working Time Regulations, such as being a managing director, being part of the armed forces or the emergency services, roles such as being a domestic servant in a private house, or if you are a sea transport worker. And again, more details of this are available on the ACAS website. The Working Time Regulations provide employees with the following basic rights and protections. They provide a limit of an average of 48 hours a week over a 17-week period, which a worker can be required to work. With regards to night working, there's a limit of an average of 8 hours work in a 24-hour spell. You have the right to 11 hours rest each day and a right to a day off each week. There's also currently a right to an in-work rest break if the working day is longer than 6 hours. And there is also the right to 28 days paid leave for full-time workers per year. Organisations in Britain actively implement the opt-out clause to the 48-hour limit, which allows companies to ask employees to agree to work more than the 48 hours a week in a 4-month period, which equates to the 17-week average that we've talked about. Employers can't force employees to sign an opt-out, it must be agreed to, and employees can't be dismissed for refusing to sign one. There is no opt-out for young workers. A young worker is someone under 18 but over school leaving age, and young workers may not normally work more than 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week, and the hours can't be averaged out over the 17 weeks for a young worker. This is available from the CIPD fact sheet, where you'll find more information on opting out in the Working Time Directive. The regulations have been described as complex, and you can see here from the table that there's a lot of things that count as work and a lot that do not count as work. It's important, if you're trying to comply with the Working Time Regulations, to be able to understand what counts and what doesn't. You can see some examples in the table below. It is important that you check up-to-date websites such as CIPD or ACAS or gov.uk, because changes are often made to the Working Time Regulations. Look out for the next video, which will help you to answer family-related legal support for Assessment Criteria 2.2.